Shabbat Yom, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans, the West, to the four corners of the earth, scatter greetings. This is our lesson. We're going to continue to see it, brothers and sisters. Precept in Shalomah, Chokmah, Shalomah, Wisdom of Solomon, the entire book, right? So we on chapter 6. We're going to precept 6, 7, and 8. Right? So let's get into it. It's on your screen. Chokmah, Shalomah. Right? We're precepting chapter 6, 7, and 8. The scripture said, so the scriptures line upon line upon line upon line, precept upon precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little, brother and sister. You must study the scriptures just like you go to the Babylonian pagan colleges. In war college, you study 4 years for something that is going to wither away. You study 4 years, waste 4 years of your life gaining knowledge that will not gain you a thing. It only gain you temporary things in life. But the studying of the scriptures and the retaining of his word and keeping his commandment is an everlasting thing. Because that will, assure you of the grace and mercy and to enter into the Most High Yah's eternal rest. Alright, so let's get into it. Hear therefore, ye kings, and understand, learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear ye that rule the people and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of Yahuwah and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? Because being ministers of his kingdom ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of Eliyahu. Horribly and speedily shall ye come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. Horribly and speedily shall ye come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. For he which is a donor over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made a small and great, and careth for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. Unto you therefore, ye kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom, and not fall away. For they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy, and they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away, yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She prevented them that desire her in making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his door. To think therefore upon her in perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, sheweth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto Eliyahu. Therefore desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that he may reign forevermore. As for wisdom, what she is, and now she came up, I will tell you. I will not hide mysteries from you, but will seek her out from the beginning of her nativity, and bring the knowledge of her into light, and will not pass over the truth. Neither will I go with consuming envy, for such as man shall have no fellowship with wisdom. But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and I shall do you good. I myself also am a mortal man like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew the common ear and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares, for there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. For all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon Eliyahu, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I prefer her before scepters and thrones, and esteem riches nothing in comparison to her. Neither compared I unto her any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is a little sand, and silver shall be counted as clay before her. I love her above health and beauty, and choose to have her instead of light. For the light that cometh from her never goeth out. All good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands. And I rejoice in them all, because wisdom goeth before them, and I knew not that she was the mother of them. I learn diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of Eliyahu, being commanded for the gifts that come from learning. Eliyahu had granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that laid it unto wisdom, and directed the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he had given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, the end, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons, the circuits of years, and the position of stars, the natures of living creatures, and the furies of the wild beasts, the violence of wind, and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plant, and the virtues of roots, and all such things are either sacred or manifest, them I know. For wisdom, which is the work of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy one, only, manifold, subtilely clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the things that is good, quick, which cannot be littered, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of Eliyahu, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror for the power of Eliyahu, and the imagine of and the image of his goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remain in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of Eliyahu and prophets. For Eliyahu loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. For Eliyahu loveth none but him that dwelleth in wisdom. For Eliyahu loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the orders of stars, being compared with light, she is found before it. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another, mightily and sweetly doeth she order all things. I love her, and sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse, and I was a lover of her beauty. In that she conversant with Eliyahu, she magnified her nobility. Yea, the Adonai of all things himself love her. For she is privy to the mysteries of the knowledge of Eliyahu, and a lover of his works. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things? And if prudence work, who of all that are is a more cunning workman than she? And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues, for she teacheth temperance, and prudence, justice, and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. If a man desire much experience, she knoweth things of old, conjectureth aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speeches, and can expound dark sentences. She foreseeth signs and wonders, and the events of season and times. Therefore I propose to take her to live with me, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things, and a comfort in cares and grief. For her sake I shall have estimation among the multitude, and honor with elders, though I be young. I shall be found of a quick conceit in judgment, and shall be admired in the sight of great men. When I hold my tongue, they shall bide my ear, and when I speak, they shall give good ear unto me. If I talk much, they shall lay their hands upon their mouth. Moreover, by the means of her I shall obtain immortality, and leave behind me an everlasting memorial to them that come after me. I shall set the people in order. I shall set the people in order. I shall set the people in order, and the nations shall be subject unto me. All the tyrants shall be afraid when they do but hear of me. I shall be found good among the multitude, and valiant in war. After I come into mine house, I will repose myself with her, for her conversation had no bitterness, and to live with her had no sorrow but mirth and joy. Now when I consider these things in myself, and ponder them in my heart, how that to be a lion unto wisdom is mortality, and great pleasure it is to have her friendship, and in the works of her hands are infinite riches, and in the exercise of conference with her, prudence, and in talking with her, a good report, and went about seeking how to take her to me. For I was a witty child, and had a good spirit, yea, rather, being good I came into a body undefiled. Nevertheless, when I perceived that I could not otherwise obtain her except Allah who gave her to me, and that was a point of wisdom, also to know whose gift she was, I prayed unto Eliyahu, I prayed unto Yahuwah, and besought him, and with my whole heart I said, O Eliyahu of my fathers, and Adonai of mercy, who hath made all things with thy word, and ordained men though through thy wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which thou hast made, and order the word accordingly to equity and righteousness, and execute judgment with an upright heart. Give me wisdom that sitteth by thy throne, and reject me not from among thy children. For I, thy servant and son of thine handmaid, am I a feeble person, and of a short time, and too young for the understanding of judgment and laws. For though a man be never so perfect among the children of men, yet if thy wisdom be not with him, he shall be nothing regarded. Thou hast chosen me to be a king of thy people, and a judge of thy sons and daughters. Thou hast commanded me to build a temple upon thy holy mount, an altar in the city wherein thou dwellest. and resemblance of the holy tabernacle which thou hast prepared from the beginning. And wisdom was with thee, which knoweth thy works, and was present when thou madest the world, and knew what was acceptable in thy sight, and right in thy commandments. In thy commandments. In thy commandments. O send her out of thy holy heavens, and from the throne of thy glory, that being present she may labor with me, that I may know what is pleasing unto thee. For she knoweth and understandeth all things, and she shall lead me soberly in my doings, and preserve me in her power. So shall my works be acceptable, and then shall I judge thy people righteously, and be worthy to sit in my Father's seat. For what man is he that can know the counsel of Eliyahu, or who can think that which the will of the Adonai is? For the thoughts of mortal man are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighed down the mind that museth upon many things. And hardly do we guess aright at things that are upon earth, and with labor do we find the things that are before us. But the things that are in heaven, who hath searched it out? All thy counsel who had known, except thou give wisdom, and send thy Holy Spirit from above. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom. So you see, brother and sister, that I added another chapter. So we're going to precept chapter 9 as well. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's precept verse 3 of chapter 6 of Chokmah, Shalomah. Right, so we're going to use Romans 13, 1 and 2. So in Chokmah, Shalomah, verse 3 of chapter 6, it states, for power is given you of Yahuwah, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsel. So the Most High is one that giveth the power, and he will judge those that have that power. Right? And the sovereignty is from the Most High. Right? So we're going to go to Romans. Right? So take a look at the screen, Romans 13, 1 and 2. Let every soul be subjected unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Eliyahu. The powers that be are ordained of Eliyahu. Whosoever therefore resisted the power resisted the ordinance of Eliyahu, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So this scripture is talking about rulers that is over the people, the subject that they rule over. So in this case, then Israel, when we were taken over by the Roman Empire and the Romans, we were subjected under their power because they ruled Judea in the time of the Mashiach. So we were subject under them. And you see the brutality of the Romans, right? How when the children of Israel rebel against them, they deal them brutally. And all throughout scriptures, brothers and sisters, the Most High used nations and people to come against Israel because of their continual disobedience. And the Most High used those nations and peoples to prove whether Israel will keep his commandments or no. You see, brothers and sisters. So that's the reason. And then after the Most High used those same people to punish any Israel, guess what? The Most High punished those people. Because it is the will of the Most High, yeah. Because those people were wicked from the foundation of the earth. From the beginning, those people were wicked. The same thing happened to us in chattel slavery in this modern time. After the destruction of the temple of Jerusalem in 70 AD, Northeast Africa, right? We don't just have this one patch of land. It's Northeast Africa and the surrounding area. You see. And most of our forefathers and mother, we fled to Portugal and Spain. That's when the Spanish Inquisition took place against the children of Israel, against Yahudah in Portugal and Spain. And we were expelled by Ferdinand the King, right? And we dispersed, we began to travel west into Africa. And we settled in West Africa. And there the transact first the what you call it? The Arab slave trade, brothers and sisters, took place. The Arab slave trade took place, and then the transatlantic slave trade took place after. So those are the nations the Most High bring against Israel because of our disobedience and not keeping His commandments and His laws. Right? And His laws also include the dietary laws too, brothers and sisters. You understand? What to eat and what not to eat, including the 10 Commandments. You understand? We're not Egyptians. I see many of my people wearing Egyptian ink, don't even know what that means. We're not Egyptian. We're not Christian. We're not Muslim. We don't know other denomination. You like to put titles on yourself that's man-made, given. Foundational black this and foundational black that. I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a this, I'm a that. All man-made title, but the royal title that the Most High gave us, Hebrews identity, Hebrews and a country. You understand? Called based off our name. You see, we are Israel, and the landmass is Israel as well. But our identity are Hebrews of the royal house of Israel. So let's carry on. Okay, brothers and sisters, Second Chronicles, we're going to precept verse 8. Verse 78. Right, so we're going to use Second Chronicles 19. We're going to take it from 1 to 11. Right? So verse 7 and 8 of Chokmah Shalomah, it states, "For he which is Adonai over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and great, and cared for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty." Brothers, so we're gonna use Second Chronicles for that, to bring that out. Second Chronicles 19, 1 to 11. And Jehoshaphat, the king of Yehudah, returned to his house in peace, Jerusalem, and Jehu, the son of Hananiah, the seer, went out. So seer is a prophet. And Jehu, the son of Hananiah, the seer, went out to meet him and said to King Jehoshaphat, "Shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate Yahuwah? Therefore is wrath upon thee from before Yahuwah." So again, brothers and sisters, Second Chronicles 19, 1 to 11. We're going to bring out verse 7 and 8 of Chokmah Shalomah. And Jehoshaphat the king of Yehudah returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem. And Jehu, the son of Hananiah, the seer, again, seer is prophet. And Jehu, the son of Hananiah, the seer, went out to meet him and said to the king Jehoshaphat, "Shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate Yahuwah? Therefore is the wrath upon thee from before Yahuwah. Nevertheless, there are good things found in thee, in that thou hast taken away the groves out of the land, and hast prepared thine heart to seek Eliyahu." And Jehoshaphat dwelt in Jerusalem, and he went out again through the people from Beersheba to Mount Ephraim, and brought them back unto Eliyahu of their fathers. And he set judges in the land and throughout all the fenced city of Yehudah, city by city, and said to the judges, "Take heed what ye do, for he judge not for man, but for Yahuwah, who is with you in judgment." Wherefore now let the fear of Yahuwah be upon you, and take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with Yahuwah or Eliyahu, nor respect of person, nor taking of gifts. Moreover, in Jerusalem the Jehoshaphat set up the Levites of the priests and of the chief of the fathers of Israel for the judgment of Yahuwah and for the controversies when they returned to Jerusalem. And he charged them, saying, Thus shall ye do in the fear of Yahuwah, faithfully and with a perfect heart. And what cause soever shall come to you of your brethren that dwell in their cities between blood and blood, between law and commandments, statutes and judgment, ye shall even warn them that they trespass not against Yahuwah, and so wrath come upon you and upon your brethren. This do, and ye shall not trespass. And behold, Amariah the chief priest is over you in all matters of Yahuwah, and Zebadiah the son of Ishmael, the ruler of the house of Yahudah, for all the king's matters also the Levites shall be officers before you. Deal courageously, and Yahuwah shall be with the good. You see, brothers and sisters. So you see how it lines up well with 7 and 8 on the Most High. But a sword trial shall come upon the mighty. This is the sword trial. You understand? The studying of the king's commandment as excuse upon the people who disobey the king's commandments. You see, before them call the Most High put Adonai over them. See, for he which is Adonai over all shall fear no man's person. So that's the king who the Most High appoint. Neither shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness, for he had made the small and great and cared for all alike. So that's the leadership, the kingship of Israel. Okay, brothers, let's turn to Deuteronomy 10 and 17, because we're still precept in verse 7 and 8 of Chokmah Shalomah, chapter 6. Right? So we're going to deal with Deuteronomy 10 and 17. For Yahuwah Eliyahu is Elohim of Elohims, and Adonai of Adonais, a great Eliyahu, a mighty and terrible, which regardeth not person, nor take it reward. So this is saying you cannot bribe the Most High, nor salvation can be bought. You cannot bribe the Most High, and you cannot buy salvation. It has to be purchased with blood, and it's already been purchased on the behalf of Israel in Yahusha Mashiach. Okay, brothers and sisters, Job 34, 19 to 21. So we see the precept in 7 and 8 of Chokmah Shalomah. Job 34, 19 to 21. How much less to him that accepted not the persons of princes, nor regard the rich more than the poor, for they all are the work of his hands. In a moment shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight, and pass away, and the mighty shall be taken away without hand. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he said all his doing, brothers and sisters. We are nothing. We are more than dust, brothers. We're less than dust, actually. You see, at least the earth bring forth food. What have you brought forth? Oh, still wicked humans, mankind in Israel, not more than pain and sorrow and frustration of heart. When will we learn in Israel? How long will you provoke the Most High to wrath, to move against you, to utterly destroy you? Eclecticus 35, 12 to 16. Eclecticus 35, 12 to 16. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such ye will not receive, and trust not to unrighteous sacrifice, for Yahuwah is judge, and with him is no respect of person. So you see the Most High repeat it over and over, no respect of person. No respect of person. The Most High like to repeat him. Say, why, brothers and sisters? Because he wants you to get it. So when the judgment comes, you cannot say the Most High did not warn them multiple times. After all, we warned the people for 120 years and then ignored him for 120 years. I want you to really think about it. Think about it. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, so you cannot. A lot of people would try to I give example. Look at religion today, the Catholic Church. They think they could buy their way into salvation by giving all this big lavish donation. You know what I mean? Confessing their sin to some priest when the scripture says confess your sins one to another. They think they could buy their way into heaven. I hear what the Moses say right here. Do not think to corrupt with gifts. So why? Don't corrupt yourself with gifts, because you cannot bribe the Most High. You cannot, buy your way into the Most High eternal rest. It was for the covenant people, which is us and Israel, who were taken into slavery, and those who cling on to us, the other nations who in turn will be our servants in the kingdom. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive, and trust not to unrighteous sacrifice, for Yahuwah is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. Prayer is key. Prayer is the communication avenue, the vehicle to communicate with the Most High in Yahushua's name. Prayer is powerful with faith. Verse 13, he will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she poured out her complaint. Do not tear down the widow's cheeks. Do not the tears run down the widow's cheeks. Do not the tears run down the widow's cheeks, and is not her cry against him that causeth them to fall. He that serveth Yahuwah shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble set the cloud, until it comes nigh. He will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. You see, brothers and sisters. Mazim Acts 20 to 24. So you see bringing out Chokmah Shalomah. So in Chokmah Shalomah, it's talking about the judgment. Standing awe of judgment. For he which is done over all shall fear no man. So if you are a king, you cannot fear no man. For he which is done over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness, for he had made the small and great, and cared for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. Sore trial, brothers. So we're going to continue to examine that in Mazim Acts 10, 20 to 24. Arise therefore and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Then Peter Caiaphas went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius to the centurion, a just man. And they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man, and one that fear Eliyahu. So you see right here, this is the Gentile. These Gentiles are going to have that same. These Gentiles now in this modern time, you understand, will have the same spirit of Cornelius, who seek the Most High, accept the Most High's people, accept who Yahusha is, that he came for in Israel first, then for the Gentiles that will cleave unto us. Verse 22, and they say, Cornelius the centurion, a just man, and one that feared Eliyahu, and of good report among all the nation of Yahuadines, was warned from Eliyahu by a holy angel to send for thee into his house, and to hear words of thee. Then called he them in and lodged them, and on the morrow Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. And the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and he had called together his kinsmen and near friends, brothers and sisters. So they were called together, and they heard the word of Kaifer, and they all were baptized and received the gifts of Yahuwah in Yahusha's name. And they become servants of the Most High unto the people of Israel. Or in the eyes and in the sight of the Gentile, namely Cornelius, in this hour, you know what I mean, Peter was a donor over them. Peter was a donor over them. You see. Romans 2, 9 to 11. Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Judeans first, and also of the Gentiles. Let me repeat. Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, and of Judeans first, and also of the Gentile. But glory and honor and peace to everyone that worketh good, to the Judeans first, and also to the Gentiles. For there is no respect of person. There you go again with Eliyahu. The Most High telling you again. And the Most High, you see what the Most High, how the Most High worded, it said always pertain to the children of Israel first. Because why? The covenant was made to them first. And then everybody else that cling on to them will, partake in the covenant. But they have to acknowledge who Yahuwah's people are. Acknowledge who Yahusha is. And his commandments. Once they acknowledge that and they keep in the commandment, they will cleave unto us. But then it's not going to be an equal footing. It's going to be, order to this. You see, brothers and sisters. It's going to be order to this. And if you see in verse 7 and 8, again in Chokmah Shalomah, but a sore child shall come upon the mighty. What is the sore child that come upon the mighty? You know what I mean? Tribulation. Anguish. That's what Romans said. Upon every soul of man that doeth evil, brothers and sisters. Let's continue. Galatians 2, 1 to 6. Then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, and took Titus with me also, and I went up by revelation and communicated unto them the Bezorah, the gospel which I preach among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. So the private teaching that Kaifer did, is the same lineage with Romans. He went and to Cornelius' house and he talked with them, communicate them and teach them the ways of the Most High. You see what it said in verse 1, and I went up by revelation. So he's comparison, not comparison, but is parallel to what he said in Romans 2 and 9. Sorry, not Romans 2 and 9, Acts, brothers and sisters, Acts, right? Mazim 10 and 24, when Kaifer Peter was called and the angel warned by the angels, right? He was warned by the angel. And see verse 22, he said, and they said, Cornelius centurion, a just man, and one that feared Eliyahu, and of good report among all the nations of the Yahuadines, and was warned from Eliyahu by a holy angel to send for thee into his house and to hear words of thee. So all of this is the Most High's willing and doing, brothers and sisters. You see. And this is a private setting, which in Galatians it was saying, right? In Galatians it was saying the same exact thing. Right? You say in Galatians 2, and I went up by revelation. So we know the revelation is the Most High sent for the angel, right? To go to Cornelius and communicated unto them the gospel which I preach among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, meaning Cornelius. He met privately with Cornelius, right? By any means I should run or had run in vain. So there you go. You see, brothers and sisters. In Peter's and Kiefer's dealings with the people, right, brothers and sisters, have been preaching the gospel of Bezorah to the lost tribe of the house of Israel and also the Gentiles. He preached publicly, but also he had private settings and private meetings with people of renown that truly loved the Most High, because many people were in high political office that truly believe in the Mashiach when he was on the earth. And like I said, the Most High Yah is a judge of hearts, so he knows the hearts of man, whether they be true or whether they be liars. Ephesians 6:7-11. That's Ephesians 6:7-11 is on the screen. What good will do in service? What good will do in service as to Yahuwah and not to men? Knowing that whatsoever good things any man doeth, the same shall he receive of Yahuwah, whether he be bond or free. And ye masters, do the same thing unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons. There you go again. With him, the Most High, tell you time and time again, he don't care about your rank. He does not care about your rank, whether you are a preacher, whether you are a bishop, whether you are a pastor, whether you are a priest, whether you whatever your man may take you give yourself. He don't respect of nobody, president, governor, no one. What the Most High care about is you keeping his commandments. And that will determine whether you will be in his eternal rest, in his eternal Shabbat, or end up in the pit of hell with Hashatan and his minions. Time and time again, the Most High like to repeat this, and that's how you know the Most High. Study his word, you will know the Most High. Be intimate with the Most High, know how the Most High work, know how the Most High talk, know how the Most High do things, brothers and sisters. But in order for you to know all these things and be intimate with him, you got to go into his words. It's plain as day, brothers and sisters. With good will doing service as to Yahuwah and not to man, knowing that whatsoever good things any man doeth, the same shall he receive of Yahuwah, whether he be bond or free. And he masters do the same thing unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahuwah and in the power of his might, but on the whole, put on the whole armor of Eliyahu. Put on the whole armor of Eliyahu, that he may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, brothers and sisters. And what is the whole armor of Yahuwah? His words and his commandments. That is your protection. That is your guide. The scripture said, thy word is a lamp unto thy feet and light unto thy path, brothers and sisters. See, the word, it tell you, thy word is a light unto thy feet and a lamp unto thy path. It is the light in the dark tunnel. It is the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, we're going to precept verse 9 of Chokmah Shalomah. Verse 9 of Chokmah Shalomah. In verse 9 of Chokmah Shalomah chapter 6, it says, unto you, therefore, kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom, and not fail away or fall away. So we're going to go to Kaifa Rishon for that. 1 Peter, right, 10-17. Of which salvation the prophets have required and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what manner of time the spirit of the Mashiach, which was in them, did signify, when it testified beforehand the suffering of the Mashiach, and the glory that should follow. unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the Bezorah unto you with the Ruach HaKodesh sent down from heaven, which things the angel desired to look into. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober and hope to the end of for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua Mashiach. As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you in holy is holy. But as he which hath called you is holy, so be you holy in all manner of conversation. Because it is written, be holy, for I am holy. And if ye call on the Father, who without respect of person judgeth according to every man's work, past the time of your sojourning here in fear. So you see again, the most I repeat again, he's a respecter of person. He's without respect of person, judging according to every man's work. The Most I don't care about your rank on earth, brothers and sisters. He keep telling you that. What he cares about is you keeping his commandments, whether you believe him or keep his laws or no. I hear what Caiaphas said, in verse 17, and if ye call on the Father, who without respect of person judgeth according to every man's word, pass the time of your sojourn here in fear. That means pass your time on earth in fear of the Most High judgment upon your wretched soul. That's what he's saying, Take heed, brothers and sisters. Take heed. Alright, so we finish precept in line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little in chapter 6. So we're going to move on to chapter 7. Okay, brothers and sisters, so in Chokmah Shalomah, chapter 7, verse 2, we're going to precept verse 2, right? We're going to use Job 10, 9 to 12. So Chokmah Shalomah saying in verse 2 here, chapter 7, and in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood and of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. So we're going to go to Job for that. Precept 10, 9 to 12. Remember, I beseech thee, that thou hast made me as the clay, and wilt thou bring me into the dust again? And the answer is yes. After your time on earth, brothers and sisters. The answer is yes. Remember, I beseech thee. So Job is reminding the Most High that I beseech thee that thou hast made me as the clay. So he's beseeching and also reminiscing to the first man, Adama, who was made out of clay, out of the dust, out of the earth. And will thou bring me into dust again? So the rhetorical question, because he knows the answer. The answer is yes, because we have to die one day. Hast thou not poured me out as milk and curdled me like cheese? Thou hast clothed me with the skin and flesh, and hast fenced me with bones and sinews. Thou hast granted me life and favor, and thy visitation hath preserved my spirit, brothers and sisters. So he's talking about creation, the molding in the womb. Hast thou not poured me out as milk and curdled me like cheese? Thou hast clothed me with skin and flesh. So milk and cheese. That's the foundation of us human. Sperm. It enter into the womb. And it mature. And the Most High put on skin and flesh, and has fenced me with bones and sinews, brothers and sisters, ligaments, veins, arteries. The Most High working in the womb from a sperm that he created that has life. Because we men bring forth, we have the life, men have life. And women bring forth that life. But we cannot do it. We cannot do one without the other. That's why the Most High made it like that. The man had the seed of life. The woman bring forth the seed of life. We cannot do without each other. We need one and the other. Both male and female of Israel descent, of Hebrews and Hebrew slave, come back to the Most High. Yeah. You don't see the world is failing. The system is fighting and eating each other. They're eating themselves right now at this point, brothers and sisters. They're desperate to hang on to their fading power, their power of illusion. The Most High is unveiling the power of illusion little by little, brothers and sisters. Will you see? Okay, Precept 6 of Chokmah, Shalomah, chapter 7. And we're going to use again Job 1, 19 to 21. So in Chokmah, Shalomah, chapter 7, yes, verse 6. What it says, brothers, is for all men have one entrance into life and the going out. For all men have one entrance into life and the like going out, brothers. So let's look at Job 19 to 21. It's on the screen. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I am only escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped. I said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Yahuwah gave, and Yahuwah had taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah. Hallelujah. He said in verse 6 in chapter 7 on Chokmah Shalomah, for all men have one entrance into life and the light going out. And what Job said right here in 1921. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they all are dead. One entrance in, one entrance out. You come through the portal of the womb into the earth, into life, into nature, into the atmosphere. And the only way you're going to leave this earth and out of this atmosphere is once you, and you know, when you die, you go back into the earth like a cycle. You understand? You go back into the earth because the original man was made from the earth. So that's why I think they say ash to ashes and dust to dust. You go back into the dust. You go back into the earth and be fertilizers to the earth. Okay, let's continue to bring out verse 6 of chapter 7 of Chokmah Shalomah. We're going to use Timotheus version, 1 Timothy 6, 4-7. He said proud, knowing nothing. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strives of words, wherefore cometh envy, strife, railings, evil, surmising, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Same thing Job said. This is what Job said, brothers and sisters, right? That's what Job said. Job said, brothers and sisters, in Job 1:19 and the 21 chapter, 21 verse, he said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Yahuwah gave, and Yahuwah had taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah. Hallelujah, brothers and sisters. See, it all making sense now, huh? This is why I say study scripture for yourself, for yourself, for yourself. Study scriptures for your what? Self. Let's move on. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to precept verse 11 of Chokmah Shalomah. We're going to use Kings, 1 Kings 3, 10-13. In verse 11 of Chokmah Shalomah, it said, all good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands. So we're going to bring that out, what he's talking about. We're going to use First Kings 3:10-13. Okay, boys, on the screen. And the speech pleased Yahuwah, that Solomon had asked this thing. And Eliyahu said unto him, because thou hast asked these things, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor asked the life of thine enemy, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. So you see, the Most High is telling you, a lot of people that talk about Mansa Musa this and Mansa Musa that. Yes, he's rich, he's also wise, but this is what the Most High says. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise. So Shalomah. So what this chapter Chokmah Shalomah saying in chapter 7 verse 11. All good things together came to me with her. So you know, with this statement is talking about the wisdom, because how you know is wisdom the most. Chokmah Shalomah is talking about in verse 11. He tells you this in Kings. He tells you in Kings. He said, and the speech pleased Yahuwah. So what speech pleased Yahuwah? What the request Solomon asked the Most High. And in verse 11 he said to the Mashiach, Eliyahu said unto him. So the Mashiach said to responding to his request. And Eliyahu said unto him, because thou hast asked this. So what did Shalomah ask of the most? Wisdom. He asked the Most High wisdom. He didn't ask him for riches and gold and this and that. He asked him for wisdom. And because he asked for such a thing to rule his people, because Solomon's biggest fear is how he gonna rule Israel, because at that time, ethnic Israel was a vast nation. I mean, it's thousands, millions of people. You understand? And those people, you gotta have steel to deal with a rebellious and stiff-necked people such as Israel. And you have to rule them in wisdom. And he did well until his old age. So now you know what he's talking about when he said he embraced her. When he embraced her. All good things, brothers and sisters. And said all good things together came to me with her. So you know who came to Shalomah with her is wisdom and innumerable riches in her hand. So after he asked the Most High for wisdom, then the Most High went a step further and said, behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart. That's in verse 12 of Kings. First Kings, right? So that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And Moses went a bit further and said, I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked. So you see right there, Solomon never asked for anything else but wisdom. You understand? Because he already, look at it like this, bro. He already had riches already from his father, King David in the Gus. He already had the riches. But this interaction between Shalomah, because at this time Shalomah was a tender boy. He was a tender boy. He's a father about to die, and he's about to step in his throne. You know, probably he's in teens and his 20s. So he has no knowledge of governance, like King David. You understand? He has no knowledge of it. So he was terrified. I would, if all of a sudden I was ascended to a throne when I'm in my teens and 20s. I know nothing. So he asked for the right thing, and he was led by Ruach HaKodesh. He asked for the right thing, wisdom, and because the Most High saw his heart, he said, okay, riches wasn't on your forefront. It was not your foremost thought. So, okay, I'm going to go a bit further and bless you with riches that nothing can compare to it till this day. You understand? Why is it so, brothers? Because Solomon riches is gold and silver, precious stones, not paperback money today we see today floating around here, backed by nothing. We talk about substantial asset, gold, silver, bronze, precious metals, rubies, diamonds. Those things, brothers and sisters, fill his vault of treasures. Let's move on. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's continue with precept in verse 11 of Chokmah, Shalomah, chapter 7. We're going to use Matthew 6, 30 to 33. Wherefore, if Eliyahu so clothed the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that he have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of Eliyahu and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, brothers and sisters. The world have our people doing things backward. The world teaching our people to seek riches and wealth. Things that is unprofitable unto you because you're going to die and leave it. But the kingdom of Yahusha, the kingdom of Yah is eternal thing that will not pass away. Heaven and earth will pass away, brothers, but his word shall stay on forever. Wisdom. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of what? Wisdom. And a good understanding of all that what? Do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. And what Shalomah always said, brothers and sisters, and here the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and what? Keep his commandments. Let's move on to Ephraim, Hebrews. Hebrews, brothers and sisters, Ephraim, Hebrews 1 to 3. So in Ephraim, so in Chokmah, Shalomah, chapter 7, right, verse 26, we're going to precept that because this is the final precept for chapter 7 of Chokmah, Shalomah. Verse 26, it says in Chokmah, Shalomah, for it is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Eliyahu, and the image of his goodness. So what he's talking about, let's use Ephraim, Hebrews to bring that out. So on the screen, Hebrews 1 to 3. Eliyahu, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory, and the express image of his person. That's why the Most High say, that's why Yahusha say, when you see me, you see the Father. I and the Father are one. So when you see Yahusha, you see Eliyahu, you see Yahuwah. The Father, the Son, and the Ruach HaKodesh in one essence. Yes, see, they have Pastor Pork Chops out there telling you lies that the Trinity don't exist, that the Trinity is this, that Trinity that. The Trinity is not a religion. No religious aspect. It's reality. Yah is a spirit. You cannot see Yah because he's a spirit. He fulfills all things. He filleth all things. But in order that to interact with his creation, he has to come in the form of flesh, which he created through Adama. That's the same vehicle. He presents himself in the form of his Son to talk to you through his Son. That's why Yahusha said, when you see me, you see the Father. I and the Father are what? One. One in mind, one in essence, one in thought, one in presence, one in deeds. They think alike, they act alike, and they speak alike. Eliyahu, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days, so these are the days, our time right now, the last days when the Mashiach was on the scene until now, these are the last days. the Most High Yah spoke unto us by his Son, whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. So he's telling the Most High that Yahushua made the worlds. When the Most High Yah said, let there be light, who you think that light? Who you think is that light? When the Mashiach, when Yahuwah said, let there be light, and there was. The light was Yahushua. The light was Yahushua, but he was there with his Father when he created all the heavens and the earth. Eliyahu, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had made himself purge our sin, sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high. That's Yahushua. Yahushua Mashiach, brothers and sisters. Wisdom. Let's move on to chapter 8. Okay, chapter 8, we're going to precept verse 6 of Chokmah, Shalomah. And if prudence work, who of all that are is a more cunning workman than she? And if prudence work, who of all that are in a more cunning workman than she? So what Shalomah is talking about, let's explore that in Shemot. We'll explore it in Shemot 31. All the way to 18, brothers and sisters. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, see, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, the tribe of Yehudah. And I have filled him with the spirit of Eliyahu in wisdom and in honesty. See, again, wisdom, brothers and sisters. This is what Shalom is talking about in verse 6 of Chokmah, Shalomah, chapter 8. And if prudence work, who of all that are is a more cunning workman than she? I hear it said right here. In verse 3, I have filled him with the spirit of Eliyahu in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship. To devise, brothers and sisters, to devise cunning works and to work in gold and in silver and in brass and in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. And I beheld, I have given with him, and I have behold, and I have given him Aholiab, the son of Ashmahak, and of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded thee. Wisdom, brothers and sisters. That's what Shalom is talking about. The tabernacle of the congregation, the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle. So the Most has given Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, and the tribe of Yehudah. He's giving this man this wisdom to build the ark. That's what he's saying, my brothers and sisters. Verse 7, the tabernacle of the congregation, the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table of his furniture, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering, with all his furniture, and the laver, and his foot, and the clothes of service, and the holy garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments of his sons, to minister in the priest's office. The Most High point meant to be the head of his priesthood, and not women. Is no knock to women, because you're prophetess in the scripture, Deborah and so forth. You understand? You got all these strong women. But there's a place for every person in this walk of life in righteousness. And what's going on in these modern day churches today, having women being priests, be head of the fathers, priesthood is totally abomination. It's wrong, brother and sister. This is why I tell you, flee religion. I'm telling you, flee religion. And close of service, the holy garments for Aaron the priest and the garments of his sons, the minister in the priest's office, and the anointing oil and sweet incense for the rock place, the Kodesh place, according to all that I have commanded thee, shall they do. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my there you go again, the Shabbat. The Shabbat, the Most High continue to bring up the Shabbat, because it's very important. And the Most High rests on the Shabbat, as well as all his commandments, his dietary laws. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Shabbats ye shall keep, my Shabbats ye shall keep, my Shabbats ye shall keep, for it is a sign. For it is a sign. For it is the sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahuwah that doeth sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Shabbat. Ye shall keep the Shabbat. Ye shall keep the Shabbat, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his children. 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Shabbat of rest. Holy to Yahuwah, whosoever doeth any work in the Shabbat day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moshe, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of Eliyahu. So you see, brothers and sisters, the Shabbat, the Shabbat, the Shabbat. The Most High is passionate about what? His Shabbat. Alright? So let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, we're going to precept verse 12 of chapter 8 of Chokmah, Shalomah. Alright, Chokmah, Shalomah, brothers and sisters. Right? Verse 12 of chapter 8. When I hold my tongue, they shall abide in my leisure, and when I speak, they shall give good ear unto me. If I talk much, they shall lay their hands upon their mouth. So we're going to use Job 29, 8 to 11 to bring that out. So on the screen, then the young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. The prince refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me. Because I delivered the poor that cry, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. Wisdom. Because you have to have wisdom to deliver the poor, right? And to help him when there is none to help. Wisdom, I tell you. Wisdom. We're going to precept verse 17 of Chokmah, Shalomah, chapter 8. So chapter 8 saying, verse 17, and now when I consider these things in myself and ponder them in my heart, how that to be aligned unto wisdom is immortality. Let's use Proverbs 7, 1 to 3 to bring that out. It's on the screen, Proverbs 7, 1 to 3. My son, keep my words and lay up my what? Commandments with thee, brothers and sisters. Keep my commandments and live, and my laws as the apple of thine eyes. Bind them upon thy fingers and write them upon the table of thine heart, brothers and sisters. Wisdom. Wisdom. Okay, brothers and sisters, we finished precept in verse 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to go to chapter 9 of Chokmah, Shalomah, and we're going to use Bereshit, Genesis 1, 25, 28 to bring out to verse 2 of Chokmah, Shalomah. In Chokmah, Shalomah, verse 2, he said, and ordain man through thy wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which thou hast made. So let's use Bereshit 1, 25, 28. And Eliyahu made beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Eliyahu saw that it was good. Eliyahu said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the seas, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the things, and over every creeping thing which creepeth upon the earth. So Eliyahu created man in his own image, and in the image of Eliyahu created him male and female created he them. Eliyahu blessed them. Eliyahu blessed them. And Yahweh said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish, and over the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Wisdom. He gave Adama wisdom to what? Name the animals, and give Hawa a name. And if Hawa would just humble herself and come back to the Most High, and know the Most High, that she may know how to deal with men, because man is, Yahusha is the head of man, the righteous man. That is why when you marry, you take on the man's name. Even back in the day, we didn't have last names. One name is suffice, because that one name had meaning. Nothing today, but because of our disobedience, we take on these wicked people last name for systematic purpose. That's how it is right now. You see, brothers and sisters. But the name, you could see the similarity why the woman takes the man's name, because the man give the woman the name. The man give the woman reputation. The man give the woman the honor. Woman can't give herself honor. Man has to give it to her. Wisdom, brothers and sisters, wisdom. Okay, brothers, here we're going to precept verse 5 of chapter 9. What it says in chapter 9 of Chokmah, Shalomah. For I, thy servant and son of thine handmaid, am I a feeble person, and of a short time, and too young for the understanding of judgment and laws. Let's bring that out with Tehillim 1:16, 14 to 16. On the screen, Tehillim Psalms 1:16, 14 to 16. And I will pay my vows unto Yahweh now in the presence of all his people. Precious in the sight of Yahweh is the death of his saints. O Yahweh, truly am I thy servant. I am thy servant and the son of thine handmaid. Thou hast loosed my bonds, and I will offer thee the sacrifice of thanksgiving, and will call upon the name of Yahweh. I will pay my vows unto Yahweh now, in the presence of all his people, in the course of Yahweh's house, in the midst of thee, O Jerusalem. Praise he Yahweh. Hallelujah. Again, what? Wisdom, to know these things, to seek out the Most High. You understand? To praise him in the presence of his people, and to rule in righteous judgment. Wisdom. Shalom is telling that he didn't know anything about no laws and ruling his people. If he didn't ask for wisdom from the Most High, then the Most High opened the floodgate of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to Shalom, that he may rule a stiff-necked people, Israel. Okay, let's continue. We're going to precept verse 7 of chapter 9 of Chokmah Shalomah. Thou hast chosen me to be a king of thy people and a judge of thy sons and daughters. So let's use First Chronicles 28, 1 to 5 to bring that out. And thou would assemble all the princes of Israel, the princes of the tribes and captains of the companies that minister to the king by course, and captains over the thousands, and captains over the hundreds, and stewards over all the substance and the possession of the king, and of his sons with officers, and with the mighty men, and all the valiant men unto Jerusalem. Then thou with the king stood up upon his feet and said, Hear me, my brethren, and my people. As for me, I had in mine heart to build an house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and for the footstool of our Eliyahu, and made ready for the building. But Eliyahu said unto me, Thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war, and hast shed blood. Howbeit, Yahuwah, Eliyahu of Israel, chose me before all the house of my father to be king of Israel forever. For he had chosen Yahudah to be the ruler and of the house of Yahudah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father he liked me to make me king of all Israel. And of all my sons, before Yahuwah had given me many sons, he had chosen Solomon my son to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of Yahuwah of Israel. Wisdom, brothers and sisters. Wisdom. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're gonna continue precept in verse 7 of Chokmah Shalomah, chapter 9. Brothers and sisters, it says in Chokmah Shalomah chapter 9, verse 7, Thou hast chosen me to be a king of thy people and a judge of thy sons and daughters. So let's use Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 1 and 9. Now, O Yahuwah Eliyahu, let thy promise unto David my father be established, for thou hast made me king over people like the dust of the earth in multitude. So like I was saying earlier, in the millions, in the thousands. A vast amount of people, brothers and sisters, to be rulers over that. But you have to have wisdom to deal with these people, because they are rebellious and stiff-necked people. Nevertheless, the Most High made a covenant with their forefathers, our forefathers. And we are a covenant people and sheep of his pasture, brothers and sisters. But while we are here, you understand, we are going through a physical desert right now. And then the Most High we are going through a spiritual desert right now. And the Most High going to bring us to a physical desert where he going to cut us down, the rebellious, physically. Because don't get me wrong, in the branches, when the time comes, I'm telling you, when the time comes, brothers, for the Most High to gather us and bring us into the desert and to plead with us face to face, the rebellion is going to come with us. Don't get me wrong, because when time to move, the wicked and rebellious among Israel that look like us, so-called black people, they're going to come. Yes, they're going to come. Just like how in Mizraim, the other nation that look like us, but not Israel, they came with us. And guess what happened? They cling on to Dayton and his rebellious ways. And guess what? The Most High cut them down. It's the same thing going to happen when the Most High physically bring us into the desert and plead with us face to face. Right now, we're in a spiritual desert right now. You know what I mean? And he's using this nation to beat us down to see whether we will keep his commandment or no. And it looks like we are not taking heed of what the scriptures talk about and history. So we're going to continue getting beat down until we come to the commandments of the Most High. Yeah. Because all throughout Israel's history, biblical history existent, the Most High used other nations to punish us because we continually forsaking his commandments and worshiping idols and foreign gods that our forefathers knew not. You see, brothers and sisters, that's the reason the continual judgment against Israel and his people, brothers and sisters. The commandments. Huh? His commandments, brothers and sisters. All right. Okay, brothers and sisters, so we're going to continue. We're going to precept chapter, verse 9 of chapter 9. Chokmah Shalomah, verse 9 of chapter 9. And wisdom was with thee, which knoweth thy works, and was present when thou madest the world, and knew what was acceptable in thy sight, and right in thy commandments. So we're going to use Mishalim, Proverbs 8. We're going to take from 20 to 22. And lead in the way of righteousness, and in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Yahuwah possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. There you go, wisdom, brothers and sisters. That's what wisdom says. That's what Shalomah said in verse 9 of chapter 9. And wisdom was with thee, which knoweth thy works. I was present when thou madest the world. So who is that wisdom? Yahusha. He's wisdom. He's a personification of such. Wisdom, brothers and sisters. In all I get now wisdom, get what? Understanding. In all I get now wisdom, you have to get understanding. Because what sense having wisdom if you don't understand what you gain and how to apply the gain in your life? Brothers and sisters, wisdom. I'm going to show you also that what Solomon's talking about in chapter 9 of verse 9 of Chokmah Shalomah. You're going to see that is Yahusha. Right? You're going to see it. Let's go to John. Brothers and sisters. Let's go to John 1. And we're going to take it to 10. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was Eliyahu. And the Word was Eliyahu. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with Eliyahu. And the Word was Eliyahu. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with Eliyahu, and the Word was Eliyahu. The same was in the beginning with Eliyahu. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So who was he, brothers and sisters? Who was by him? Yahusha. And without him, Yahusha was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from Eliyahu, whose name was Yakinin. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light which lighted every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. So you know this verse 10 alone shed light to who Shalomah was talking about in Chokmah 9, verse 9. Yahusha, he was in the world, he walked in the world. And the world was made by him, but the world knew him not. So who didn't know him? The wicked. And they would that seek to slay him did not know him. And he was the light that cometh into the world. He is the light. That was the true light which lighted every man that come into the world. What that mean? It means that when your wife give birth to your son or your daughter, that is the light that the Most High give that coming into the world. Life. That's the light, life. That's the light that gives you life, that gives you the power to breathe, to think, to move. Everything move in Yahusha. Everything moved by him and for him and for his people. sheep of his pastors in Israel. Huh? Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to Precept chapter 9, verse 13 of Chokmah, Shalomah. For what is he that can know the counsel of Eliyahu, or who can think what the will of Yahweh is? So we're going to use Isaiah 40 and 13 to bring that out. It's on the screen. Behold, Yahuwah Eliyahu will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm, and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young. Who hath measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and meted out heaven with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance? Who had directed the spirit of Yahuwah, or being his counsel, had taught him? And did not the same conversation Job had when the Moses had when Job pissed off the Mosai? When they asked him, where were you when I made the heavens and the earth? Can you tell? Huh? No one can give counsel to the Mosai. No one's above the Mosai. The Mosai, yeah. He is who he is. He is one Eliyahu. There's no other Eliyahu besides him. Yahusha, he is the express person of his Father. No one is above Yahusha. No one, no person, no deity, no Egyptology, deity, and the paganism and the wicked ways, brothers and sisters. The Muslim, none of them, no religion that associated with their God is above Yahuwah. Yahuwah Tzavahot. And his holy son Yahushua HaMashiach, who is the express person of him, who is a spirit. For Eliyahu is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship in what? Spirit and in truth, brothers and sisters. I'm not done with 13. I got 2 more precepts for it, and we complete. So we're continuing bringing out verse 3 of chapter 9, Chokmah Shalomah. For what is he that can know the counsel of Eliyahu, or who can think what the will of Yahuwah is, brothers and sisters? So we're going to go to Romans 11, 30-35. For as he in times past not believed Eliyahu, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief, even so that these also know that believe that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy. For as he in times past have not believed Eliyahu, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief. So this is a jab at Israel. But because of through Israel unbelief, you have now obtained mercy through their unbelief, through Israel unbelief. Even so have these also now not believed that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy. For Eliyahu had concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon all. How the depth of the riches both of the wisdom and knowledge of Eliyahu, how unsearchable are his judgment and his ways past finding out. For who had known the mind of Yahuwah, or who had been his counselor, or who had first given to him, and it shall be recompensed unto him again. So these are jabs against the false gods of people who try to elevate false gods and idols over the true and living Eliyahu. Talking about, oh, this God was there before this one, not knowing that all these are pagan gods that was given to them by fallen entities. And through the unbeliever in Israel, by the Gentiles were grafting in and shown mercy because of stiff-neckedness in Israel. And the Most High use that as to provoke them to jealousy, that they may come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth, brothers and sisters. Turn from your wicked ways, brothers and sisters. This is the final precept. Final precept, brothers and sisters. For 13 in chapter 9. And we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 2 and 16 for that. Right, we're going to start it from 14 to 16 is on your screen. First Corinthians with a Sean 2, 14 to 16. But the natural man receive not the things of the spirit of Eliyahu, for they are foolishness. So you see, it started by the natural man, humans. Come from the earth, natural man, humans. But the natural man receive not the things of the spirit of Eliyahu. Why? Because the flesh is fighting against the spirit. They have unbelief spirit. The spirit of Hashatan is in them. Deception. So they will not acknowledge nor accept the spirit of Eliyahu is the Ruach HaKodesh. But for the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of Eliyahu, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judge all things. Yet he himself is judge of no man. That's this wisdom. Why he judges all things? Because what? Wisdom. Why can he judge all things? Because of the commandments. But he himself is judge of no man. Because he doesn't judge man. Yahusha is the one that judge. The Father Yah put all judgment in the hands of Yahusha. But we as saints can judge all things. Why? Because we have a guidance. The commandments. For who had known the mind of Yahuwah, and he may instruct that he may instruct him, but we have the mind of the what? The Mashiach. I say, you see now why we can judge all things, because we in Christ. We in the Mashiach. We in his commandments. Again, did not his word say, thy word is a lamp unto thy feet and a light unto thy path? Thy word is a lamp, the commandments. And the light to our path, which is to Yahuwah. So I'm going to end the Shabbat lesson there. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. Fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, and a good understanding of all that do is commandments. Praise, brothers and do it forever. I hope you understand the Shabbat lesson. Wisdom, that's the theme, the central theme. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And our people do not have wisdom among each other no more. At least some of us do. We are lacking wisdom in the black community, so-called, whether we are scattered, because we refuse to come back to these laws, come out with the statutes. So therefore the Most are going to use these other nations against us to prove us, to see whether we keep his commandments or no. So on that, no, Broke Yahuwah is ever hot. Broke Yahushua Mashiach, Shina, Vishina, blessed love, and Shalom.